Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Got a question for you. Have you ever found an alien in your toilet? It's an honest question. Well, we got somebody here that might be able to answer that, so we'll see in a minute. And good morning. Welcome back to TED Talks. I am Ted Davies. This is Ted Davies Artistry, a YouTube channel. Check out everything that we're doing here. If you are a creative, this is the place to be. I am an artist, an author, and a collector of all kinds of things, but mainly books and comics. Um, I want to welcome you here. So, first off, I want to talk to you a little bit about one thing that we talk about now is Ted's Library. I got this in the mail this week by a artist author. I think probably one of the best illustrators that I know of in indie comics, Chad Nuss. He's got a series called Silence, and it's a two-part series right now. I don't know how many books are in the series. We've got number 1 here and number 2. It was on Kickstarter, did very well. The story is very interesting. It's theological in some respects. It doesn't. It's not like that though. It's not like it's not a hardcore book in that regard. But it's very interesting the way the universe is built. Check out. Just check out everything Chad's done. Chad Nuss. He is awesome. He's part of the Dastardly Dingoes. You guys can see him on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network with us as well. They're proud affiliates as well, and we might as well tell you about Rising Tide too. We are proud affiliates, just like the Dingoes on Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Check out everything that we're doing 7 days a week. We are a group of creatives that help creatives build their business. And right now we're building Chad Nuss's business because he is awesome. The Silence. Very well done book. The illustrations, fantastic. The way that it's written, I really like because it's very thorough, very thought out, and it's thought provoking. It's not something that's going to bore you. Illustrations, like I said, I'm looking forward to. He and I are talking a little bit about doing some type of artwork together, and I'm really interested to see what that transpires about. But he is fantastic, Chad Nuss, Nuss. Check out what he's doing. All right, so check out everything we're doing on Rising Tide Broadcast Network as well too on Facebook channel. Excuse me, Facebook page, Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Join us. Be part of this. If you're a creative business owner, plug into what we're doing. If you're a writer or an artist, plug in what you're doing or what we're doing. You're doing you and whatever. We'll do it together. It'll be fun. I promise. All right. Also, we've got Cashman's Comics as our sponsor today. Cashman's down in Bay City, Michigan. If you are a novice collector or a seasoned collector like myself, check out everything that John Cashman has to offer in his comic book store. He ships nationwide, cashmanscomics.com. If you're in Bay City, Michigan, stop in, pick up one of my books. He's a very, very much a supporter of indie comics. And I appreciate that greatly. I think for the industry, you're going to be seeing a huge shift in that. And I'm already seeing it here in Michigan. So hopefully it happens nationwide. And I hope that these comic book stores really do look at the amazing, amazing group of creatives that we have around us. Yeah, check it out. And say hi, Petey, to the guard dog. Petey is the best. Today, we have a very interesting gentleman. He is part of Catch the Craze YouTube channel and their show with George. This is Sam Vera. I'm going to bring Sam in real quick. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
Good. Didn't mean to wake you. And it is really where you're at,
I was
so I
promoting
appreciate
the
it.
show right now.
That's all good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and if you guys could do that as well, we've got a lot of people in the queue right now. So, Sam, welcome, dude. I ask everybody on TED Talks, if you've ever seen it, which I think you have, when did you land on this planet, bro?
When did I land? Oh, look, many moons ago. Many moons ago.
Yeah. Where'd you land at? Where'd they drop you off?
Oh, Brooklyn.
Mm,
That's the Brooklyn's the other Puerto Rico. That's the Puerto Rico where we don't speak Spanish.
right, right.
Yeah, so,
Hey,
my
George
parents
is in the house, by the way.
Hey,
I
what's
want to
up,
say, yeah,
George?
thanks for joining us, George,
Hey, Georgie.
and everybody for that matter. So,
Yeah, so
um,
my, parents were from Puerto Rico, but I was born here in Brooklyn and then, raised in Queens, all over
mhm,
Queens. I was, yeah, you think I was running from the IRS. So I went to a lot of different elementary schools and, yeah, and, I have my mom had 4 of us, 3 boys and a girl. I'm the youngest of the
awesome,
boys.
awesome, good deal, man, good deal. What was school like there? Is it intense? I mean, you see
Um
stuff in the movies,
Well, it all depends on which neighborhood we lived in. So,
right?
there was a elementary school that I went to, but there were a lot of bullies, both girls and boys, so
Oh,
there
I
was
believe it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
some of the girls were
Sometimes the
vicious.
girls were worse, man.
Oh,
In my
yes.
school, oh, forget it.
Vicious. Oh, forget
Oh,
about it. You ju
yeah,
when you went and got
ruthless.
your lunch tray, you wanna make sure that you had a good grip on it
Yeah,
because people like
yeah.
to smack your tray down.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Uh, but that was that one elementary school. I went to another one in Richmond Hill, Queens, because
Mhm.
Jamaica, Queens, it was a little rough. In Richmond Hill, Queens, it was different. They weren't as aggressive inside the school, but they were aggressive outside. So if you're in the
Okay.
yard and whatever, they
They
were
wait
and all
for you
that
after school and all that
yeah,
stuff, or
that
what?
kind of stuff.
Did
Um,
they bus you, around, or did you just walk back and forth?
um,
What?
Elementary school, I walked.
Yeah.
When I went to junior high school, I had to bus because I went to junior high school. It was Elizabeth Blackwell,
Mhm.
um, and so that was a good distance away. So I had to take the bus.
Got it. I know that, every movie, I'd say 9 movies out of 10, New York's the backdrop, which I think is great, but
Yeah,
it gets kinda old, when you're trying to watch movies and stuff, even
yeah,
the Avengers, right?
yeah.
So, what was the best thing about living on the East Coast like that? Was it the people? Was it,
I think it was the
You
people.
and George are friends, everybody, so George and you have a show together. Is it the people?
Yeah, I don't miss anything but the friends.
Yeah,
I think I had my fill. Like my cup runneth over. It was
yeah,
time for me
yeah,
to start anew, and um, I think it was just getting too um, violent and
yeah,
aggressive and short-tempered,
mm,
dismissive. I think the socializing was changing, and I just people their patience for each other was changing, and I was like, you know what, I need a different lifestyle. I worked in the city for
mhm,
many years, and it's fast paced, hustle and bustle. It's like boom, 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 boom. Everyone talks in bullet points, and you're moving on. So, I wanted to slow down. I wanted to spend more time with family and practice a lost art of conversation.
good. That's good. I think that intent listening is a very, um, the very thing we need
Yeah.
in the world, and I mean that listening to other people, and I think that discourse is a huge thing that we're missing,
Yes.
and, that's one thing I like about what you and George do on your show, Catch the Craze, because you bring in people to promote their work, but you listen to them. You don't just, it's not like boom, 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 boom. Every 15 minutes you got somebody. You actually, when I was on your show, you took time. I mean, you promoted me. You didn't know me from Adam, and I appreciate it. So, and I can totally understand about. I mean, that's why I named it TED Talks. I want people to find out about you. Your artwork and what you're doing is a byproduct. I know you're selling things, but it's what I want you to talk. I want you to, tell people who you are, where you're from. All right. What was your first job? Okay, so you're hustling, New
My
York. What's up?
my first paying gig, I was 12, painting cars.
Mm,
Um,
really? Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Assisted painting, sanding it down, removing paint from the
Yeah.
prepping it for the paint. That was like my first paying gigs off the books. My first on the books job was at a pizzeria across the street from my high school. I think
Mm,
I was a freshman in high school, and I saw a help wanted sign on the pizzeria across the street. And so I walked in and I asked if I can apply. And the guy says, "Come around the counter and show me how to make pizza." I never made pizza before.
sure.
All I said was, "Is there a place I can go and wash my hands?" He says, "You're hired." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The number one rule in restaurant business is cleanliness."
Yeah, you got
And
to. Yep.
everyone failed. Everyone just comes around the counter, and, he goes, "I can teach you how to make pizza. I just can't teach you about, etiquette and all that other
Yeah.
stuff." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, cool." And, it was all my friends were envious,
Of course, man. The pizza man. Come
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
man, and I made pizza the way I love to eat it, and so
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
nice loyal following there. It was fun.
Good deal. How
It was
do you like
$3 an hour.
isn't
$3
that something though?
$3
Wow.
an hour, but it was off the books cash.
Yeah.
And I remember my first payday, my older brother, I said, because he always took care of me, and I said, "You know what? We went to Aqueduct Racetrack, which was a
Mhm.
big flea market, right? It was a
I
big
know
flea market,
Aqueduct. I heard
right?
about Aqueduct.
And,
Yep. Yep.
so I was like I said, "Whatever you want, it's on me." I
That's
felt, I
cool.
felt big and that was my first job. It was awesome.
That's cool. I've got people don't know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I did pizzas for a while, delivered and do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, nice.
And do you like thin crust or deep dish?
Well, I like a thick crust, but I like the thin, layer. So
Got it.
I like
I
it
like it a little bit
crusty,
crispier.
yes.
Yeah.
I like it
Unless I can't
crispy
do
on
the
the
wheat
outside, soft
anymore.
on the inside. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't do the wheat anymore, but the gluten-free stuff, we've
yeah,
got it down to a science now. And but we can't do cauliflower because my wife doesn't like it. But man, the other stuff though, the
yeah,
gluten-free, oh, forget it. We can make just beautiful. I had an
yes.
office in Chicago too. So, deep dish in Chicago's. I don't know if you've ever had Buddy's Pizza in Detroit.
No,
You got, okay. So if you ever come up here, or I'm not in Detroit anymore, we can meet there. It is Buddy's Pizza is unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
nice,
Look it up. That's all I got to say about it. It's
nice.
Detroit's. They make the pizzas in cleaned old pans from trucks.
Oh,
They
wow,
make it's incredible. It's just incredible. The pizzas, and they put the sauce on the top.
wow.
It's it's
Nice.
it's
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 funny, I've
wicked.
been to
It's
Chicago,
wicked.
I've had Chicago's deep dish, I wasn't a fan of it, so I'm sorry everyone from Chicago, I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Philly cheesesteaks, and I went to the 2 most important places,
Yeah. Yeah.
New York City. There's spots in New York City where they make outstanding pizza and they make outstanding Philly cheesesteaks,
Sure they do.
I
Yeah.
say New York cheesesteaks, sandwiches, and they're fantastic, and I haven't found any place yet that can rival some of these locations in New York City. These hole
Mhm.
in the walls where, they're just like little in nice artistic areas. Oh my
Yeah.
god, amazing.
Yeah. And that's the neighborhoods. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what makes Detroit too. Detroit's got it's a very segregated city at times, but then I've seen it pull together like no other. So you've got these, you got the Polish section, you've got the Mexican section, all these different
yeah,
Greek. And one of the things with Detroit is like you, I mean, we've got this thing about Coney dogs in Detroit. It's either Lafayette or American. And they have the same, they have a common wall. They're two restaurants, and that'll tell you what part of Detroit you're from
yeah.
if you go to Lafayette or American. And everybody knows in Detroit, you know what I'm talking about. And in Flint, we're up towards mid Michigan, and that I'm sure you heard about Flint, Michigan. My wife was up towards that way in Fenton, Michigan, and they've got a different thing called a Flint Coney, completely different than a Detroit Coney dog. And
Nice.
it's everybody up there loves them. Everybody down here loves our Coney, So
Right.
I'm with you on that as far as regions go. Um, you miss the food, you too,
Well, no, Texas has some really good food out here.
yeah. Oh, they do. I
In
know.
Bergen Line Avenue, New Jersey,
Hmm.
they have all of the Latin cuisines. I mean, you have Salvadorian, Peruvian,
Hmm.
Dominican, Cuban. I mean, you have all these
Mediterranean. Yeah.
different
Hmm. Hmm.
restaurants. So that's different. Here, there's a lot of Mexican food, but the food is outrageous. I mean, I have Creole here,
Oh, nice.
Mexican here. We've been to and it's just rich and a lot of it.
Yeah.
so
Right. Well,
so
good.
sometimes you can't eat it all in one sitting. I'm like, so I get why, some people are healthy out here. So and I'm falling victim to that. So I had to hit the treadmill because I was like, wait, hold on, hold on. I said,
Right.
why is somebody following me? It wasn't that. It was because my body was jiggling. I thought there was someone behind me. I was like, all right, fine, stop. I need to go to diet.
It's all good. It's all good. That's cool though. I mean that's real, and that's
Yeah,
that's who you are, bro.
yeah.
So that's awesome. What's the one thing you don't miss Is it the people and the
In New York, it's
attitudes?
just
Or
it's the disrespect. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
on the road, there's a
yeah.
lot of disrespect on the road. There's a lot of disrespect. It's just for no reason, for no apparent reason. It's just because people feel like they need to get somewhere
They
yesterday when
choose
they
that.
really don't
Yeah,
need to. Yeah,
yeah.
it's choice. So I don't miss the disrespect. I miss you know, like Times Square during the holidays, right? The theater during the holidays, walking down Fifth Avenue, looking at the windows, Macy's windows,
Yeah,
Saks
yeah.
Avenue, Bergdorf Goodman,
Yep, Tiffany. Yep, Tiffany's or
ice
whatever. Yep.
skating in Central Park.
Mhm.
I miss that. And that I can do. We can plan a trip to Christmas and go out to New York just for a weekend, and
Right.
the theater, a show and come back. But um, but not everybody's disrespectful. I miss the disrespect, but there's a lot of good people, and I have a lot of great friends in New York
Yeah.
and New Jersey. But I just didn't. Everyone has a chip on their shoulders, and I was tired of carrying. You're always on guard.
It's a
You're always on
burden. Yeah,
guard.
it's a burden, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, here I don't have to have that weight on my shoulder of worrying about, is this person going to snap today, or is that
yeah,
person, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, we've all got to have that kind of. I know what you're saying though. Moving up to northern Michigan, it's different than the Detroit metropolitan area. It's slower. We only get the overflow on the weekends, so a lot of people come up for the weekend to get on the lake and stuff, or go to their cabin, whatever. So that's a little different. Mostly up here, everybody's on vacation. The downside to that is everybody is on vacation.
Right.
So they drive differently, they're partying, so you
Yeah.
gotta be really careful more so. But I think that we still have to have that. Unfortunately, I don't like living like that. I don't like living to where I feel like I have to keep it. Growing up in Detroit, I was like that. I understand what you're saying because it was always lock the doors. I lock the doors all the time. I don't need to, but I lock them.
Right.
And Chris is like, "Why do you always lock the doors?" It drives her nuts because she wasn't raised like that. I'm
Yeah.
like always locking the doors or checking stuff, making sure the car's locked. And it's habitual. You don't realize it.
Yeah.
But it's survival, and that's a survival thing that as you get away from that, you'll be less tense. You'll get to a
Yeah.
point where
I'm not
and
as.
you'll be
I'm not
more
as
creative. You'll be more
Yes,
creative.
I've been the
Yeah.
most creative since I've been here. So
Thank you,
yeah.
and I agree with that
Yeah.
totally. Um, has it been hard to broadcast when you guys are an hour different timeline?
No, no.
Mhm.
Nothing's changed other than I had to remember that I was an hour earlier.
Right?
So that's
Yeah,
what changed. It's like, oh,
yeah,
but nothing's changed because when we came back, when we came back to podcasting, initially we were just doing. George would come over and we would record all the shows in 2 days.
mhm,
For a month. So we would do and then it would be air every Fridays. So we
yeah,
would just have, and then when COVID hit, we were doing it separated. And then when I set up my studio in New Jersey, um, and the guys came over, we did a few of those, but we're used to doing it from a distance.
yeah,
So when I
yeah,
got here, nothing changed at all.
okay,
In fact, we just got busier because everybody um, is doing a campaign,
right,
and so we just got flooded with, hey, can I promote my stuff on your show?
right.
So we just added more shows to the lineup. That was it.
Yeah. And I do appreciate it. You guys or whoever was on the show that supported me and all that, thank you. Because I mean, this first time I met you guys. I met you through Lisa Malone because she set up all the deal with the
Right.
interview. So I do appreciate it, and I want to reciprocate it today. And
Thank you.
like I said, I wish George could have been on. I know he's got some stuff going on with work. So
Yeah.
I want to say good morning to everybody too. I don't want to. Our crowd is building, and I apologize. So Carl, Donna, Cameron, Grant, Lankard. Hope everybody's doing well. A lot of people have got campaigns too right now.
Awesome,
Pete,
guys.
yeah, Pete
Yeah, Grant's been on the
is
show.
what's that?
Grant's been on our show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think
He's
he's
got Beowulf right now. It's doing
yeah.
well, and it's now you're launching today.
He's
Yeah,
actually
sorry.
scheduled for our show next week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. I know he likes the show. He mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
And you guys should check it out because it is a great show. And if you want to, you can always throw the links in too if you want. I didn't do that yet. I'll do it on the
Oh,
description
okay.
later, whatever
Okay.
you want to do with that as we're talking. Um,
Thanks for that.
so okay, so let's fast forward. You get settled in. You're all set. You're in Texas now since you already let the cat out of the bag.
Right.
And my dog's barking. I don't have her bark collar on, so just ignore her. We've had deliveries today, and Just don't worry about it. I'll shut the door if she gets too loud. It's amazing how the small dogs are the loudest dogs. So
Yeah.
we even got Glenn Fleming in the house from the UK. So we're international, baby. So tell me about. I'll end up putting that through for it too. Hold on 1 second. Tell me about how you came up with this crazy name. The marketing side of it's genius.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. But I'm just copying these. Hold on 1 second, guys. But tell everybody how you got how this happened. I mean, what were you thinking, bro?
Duty came to me.
Tell them the title first before you say duty.
There's an alien in my toilet. His name is Duty. He's from Uranus, and so
Well, that just went to PG-13
so
real quick.
it was
So
the height of crazy comics.
yeah.
And there was a newspaper company that was looking for a comic strip for their paper, and sci-fi related, comedy related, and whatever. So I was in the Lincoln Tunnel, and then Duty just came into my head. He's like, he's like, "Hi, I'm Duty from Uranus," and I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "There's an alien in my toilet." So, so I met the guys at IHOP, and I was like, "Yo, this is it." They're like, "What?" I was like, "There's an alien in my toilet," and they looked at me, and I remember Jonathan's like, "Yo, you crazy?" And I was like, "His name is Duty. He's from Uranus." They thought I was nuts, and and from that point on, he just spoke to me, and I started illustrating. I just the initial. He doesn't look anything like his initial design.
Okay. Isn't
And
that funny how that works out, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I totally understand that.
Yeah. So as I started drawing it, the dialogue would come as I illustrated. So
Okay.
it was very different from everything else I've done because I would always have the scripts, the history, everything already written out.
Mhm. Mhm.
With Duty, the concept was fleshed out, but the story started coming to me as I was in his dialogue and his speech patterns came to me as I was illustrating it. So
Okay.
there's no script for Disney Alien in my toilet. I would illustrate it and then write the dialogue on the page, and then I would send it to George, and he would letter it. And
Okay.
George, the initial book, George lettered and colored. In fact, on the first when we first released it in 2005, George did the first cover
Mhm.
for. That's when George was drawing. So that cover is going to be available on this campaign. If you want a Medina cover, you're never gonna get it
Cool.
anywhere else.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, this is an
That's cool.
opportunity to get yourself a Medina cover. Somebody's selling that cover on eBay for $40. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's I just had fun. It was the one series that made me feel like a kid again and have
That's
fun.
cool.
And I laugh from ear to ear when he talks to me because it's like my kindred spirit. And and I think the influence came from because I grew up with Alf,
Oh, yeah.
Marvin the
Yeah.
Martian,
Yep.
uh, Too Close for Comfort, Cosmic Cow when
Yes. Oh my God.
you
Oh
know what I
my
mean?
God.
Those
Ted,
are the things.
what was his
Yes,
name? It was
Ted.
Ted, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Ted Knight
And
or whatever his name
Monroe
was.
was his the building manager,
Right.
the
That's
super.
crazy.
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, he is the pride of Uranus. He is the best and most brightest species in the universe, and he's tasked with coming to Earth on a secret mission to determine if we're a threat to his homeworld. And he thinks he's the only one capable of handling this task. He's a little
Mhm.
arrogant, and larger than life attitude. And he gets in his ship and he crash lands, and because he forgets to refuel. And so that's when the story takes off, and he runs into a whole lot of crazy adventures where he has to now survive Earth's primitive creatures
Okay.
like turtles and squirrels and woodpeckers
Mhm.
um and
So he's a little
eventually
he's a little shit. He's a little shit.
he's a little
Pardon the pun.
guy.
Okay.
He's about
Yeah.
maybe Alf size. He's a little
Okay.
guy. And he eventually will meet a Chihuahua named Herman who thinks Judy is a talking jalapeno, and their rivalry begins from there.
Is that in the is that in the story that's on
No, it's not.
Kickstarter?
It's on the
Okay.
follow-up issue, but yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Well, let's pull it up. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna share this up, and then you go ahead and do your thing. So
Okay, well, that's an homage cover to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
yeah.
issue number 30.
Yep. I remember
And
that one.
Yeah, so I really loved that cover, the simplicity of that cover, and I put Duty there. The difference between that cover and this is that there is a UFO that's crashed in the background. So this is an homage cover that'll come with a numbered and signed certificate of authenticity,
Mhm.
and that's going to be available on the campaign. I illustrated it. I lost the name. I have a cover colorist who just does my covers.
Mhm.
Um, she's done all the Cast of Crazy covers, and she's doing all of my covers for this project as well, the coloring. So this is going to be available on the campaign.
Very good.
And this cover here, I'm not gonna go there. Okay, here we go. That cover there was done by an artist. His name is Masiak Empro. This
Mhm.
is a variant cover on the campaign. I worked with him. I commissioned him years ago for a children's book called The Adventures of Cosmic Gorf, and he was the one I also had flesh out my the Cast the Crazy. He was the original artist who was supposed to be on Cast the Crazies, and
Got it.
then he bailed out 30 days in, and because he couldn't take on I guess he's more of a kids book and
Yeah,
splash page artist, not a
it's
sequential
understandable.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he did this amazing piece for There's Nail in My Toilet. That's going to be available on the campaign as well. Oops. This is the George Medina piece. So
Nice.
that's the original cover.
That's great. And that's
Yes.
from 2005, huh?
That's from 2005. Yes. And so that's the George Medina piece, which is selling on eBay, which is crazy. Um, and so this is going to be available. This is the standard cover.
Mhm.
And so that's the one that started it all, First Flush. Um, then there's the variant
Like I said, the marketing side, man, is just goes on right down the drain. Go ahead.
Yes. So this is another variant cover, homage to the Matrix, where Duty is, there's some ninja there.
Yep.
So that's also going to be available. I illustrated that. My colorist did.
Okay, I like that one. That's cool.
Thank
That's
you.
cool.
And then there's the Rambo cover, First
Yep.
Flush. You can't have First Flush, First Blood, without a
Yeah,
Rambo
yeah, I
cover,
mean, you
right?
gotta have it, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's Duty ready to to just tear it up. So that's this cover. Also, I illustrated and my colorist did. I'll get the name soon. Um, and then there's the sketch cover. So you can get it the Virgin sketch cover, blank, or you can get it with a commission piece by me. So those are the covers that's going to be available on.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the campaign launches at noon today.
Okay. And so, uh, but you're gonna have the party tonight, though,
The
online.
party tonight is at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time on Cast the Craze. There's a special celebrity guest. There's some crazy stuff that's going to happen. It's going to be nuts. So you're definitely going to want to, for the entertainment value, be come to the party. It's going to be crazy.
Good. I'm hoping that, people do that. So they can find the Kickstarter launch page. Do you have that by any it's already on Bitly, you already
Yeah,
put it up, didn't you?
you put
Yeah.
it inside
Yep,
the
okay, got it right there, okay. So you guys check that out, get on the pre-launch. You're at about 80 some odd people right
84
now?
people have signed up. Yes, and
Yeah,
we're hoping to double that when the campaign goes live. We're hoping that to get this in a lot of hands, because Duty is not just slapstick comedy, all ages humor. It's also educational. So every issue has 4 pages
mhm,
of word puzzle, trivia, and activities to inspire learning, and all science-based questions and the story-based questions. And
okay.
if you're a parent and have kids, or you're a teacher who have kids, and you're trying to get them
Yeah,
to have fun, and this is a great way to do it because it's fun for all. So if you like crossword puzzles, get yourself 2 copies because you're going to write in the first one.
right. You want the other one to collect,
Yes.
right?
So yeah,
Well,
it's
and I think that's fun because you're trying to one of the and I talked about this on other shows. I wasn't a big fan of reading when I was a kid, and comic books got me reading, the
yes,
fun ones, the funny things. This might be just yeah, it is, pardon the pun, toilet humor in a funny way,
right.
presented in a very cool way, right? Um, but it might get a kid interested in it. What do you think for age groups? What do you think? Who do you 8 years old
Yeah,
ish,
yeah,
10, something
yes.
like that to
When I
start
first
out?
launched this name in my now again, so when people hear the title, they're like, "Oh, is it?" So the
Right.
punchline is not into the last issue, which is issue number 10, right? And you'll figure out why the title is. But then it's just a limited series, 10 issues, and then it spawns off into his own series, which is Hi, I'm Duty from Uranus. And that's when he goes on a whole lot of different adventures, and he returns to Earth on that series, where they think Santa Claus is the leader of Earth, and duty has to infiltrate his camp and take out
That's
Santa.
funny.
Right? So,
That's cool.
yeah, so it's fun for all ages. In fact, there was a shout out to the Brisky family. There was a family when I first launched it years ago, that bought 50 copies for all the kids at the kids' birthday party.
That's cool.
And the letters I received, and they actually came back and bought every issue because I at that time I released 5 issues,
Mhm.
uh, and so now everything's remastered. So this book is actually remastered, recolored, relettered. So I'm excited about it.
That's good. And, you're doing it the right way. You don't put out garbage, man. You know what I mean? You've honed your skills, and, the presentation of it's good. Your show's great. I mean, I have to say, I was really impressed with you and George. I really was
Thank you.
you guys are awesome. And yeah, your branding's excellent. I mean, your brand is I think it's great.
Thank
And
you.
again, you've done this for a long time. You know what you're doing, and you're learning too. You're
Yeah.
not arrogant to the point where,
No, we're
I know it
students.
all. You're not like that.
We're
So
students of the game, and we're true independent lovers. That's
yeah,
the reason why Creator catch the craze. Back in '05, there was enough platforms, not many at all. The only other
no,
shows were iFanboy and Comic Geek Speak, and they were doing everything all mainstream,
yeah,
right? And so I was like, you know what? We can do this for the small guys. We're the small guys. Who better to represent than us? So that's when we created Catch the Craze, and it took off. And leaving it walking away for 10 years and coming back, it was there was a learning curve. There was an adjustment period, but the chemistry that George and I have never changed.
no,
And in fact, it just got better over the years. And and I think that's what's appealing. It's that, we are number one, we share our ups and downs and our experiences,
hmm
right? We've walked the walk, we've talked the talk, we've learned all the lessons that you can learn. We made all the mistakes that you can make. And we're not shy about sharing that information with everybody. Hopefully, so people can avoid some of those pitfalls and realize that there are other options.
right. And like I said, you've got the right attitude. You're doing this with empathy and compassion. You're doing it obviously for money too, but you're doing that as a byproduct of what you're trying to achieve. I mean, there's a lot of things there's a way to do it, and you can tell anybody that knows you guys have talked to you. You're a matter of fact. You're not. You're not just a flash in the pan, just trying to money grab.
No, we're doing
So
it.
tell me about the fulfillment on this. How long is it going to take? Do you already have
April.
the?
So everything's done. So the only
Okay.
thing that I decided, like a few weeks ago, to have it remastered. And so the only thing that's right now is George's relettering
Mhm.
because when he lettered it back in the days, we were all novices.
Sure.
And
Sure.
he identified some things that, because George is an exceptional letterer. So
I
he
mean, that was
identified some things.
17 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was
2005. God,
yes,
man.
I think
Jeez.
it was when Moses, found the tablets, and, so it's a while back. So, yeah, so I just decided to, the young lady that did Forbidden for me, the colors,
Mhm. Which I've
she
got on the shelf, by the way. Thank you very
awesome.
much.
Yeah,
So
so she's actually coloring, duty right now, and, so everything's done. So she's on the last 4 pages,
yeah.
and, so by the time this campaign ends, it's ready to go to press. Everything's ready to go to press. The coloring book, there's a coloring book, there's a guidebook to all the characters in the universe. All that stuff is ready to go to press.
Mhm.
And if you've ever backed any of our campaigns, you got everything early
Yeah.
or on time.
Yeah.
And that's what we pride ourselves in. Even with this turnaround with Forbidden, I mean, we had some trouble with the printers not being able to get it to me on the timeline that they said
Right.
they would get. I
Right.
still got it to everybody before the date in February. So for me, that was important. I
Yeah.
got it, everything to everybody in January. So uh,
And I know it's hard because even I'm affected by that with the paper short, everything.
yeah,
You can't get around it, and it's like
yeah.
you're doing everything you can to make sure everybody knows
Yeah,
what's going on.
that's
So
why,
yeah.
I put the month, as soon as this campaign ends, which is March 8th, um,
Mhm.
you gotta wait 2 weeks, for Kickstarter or whatever, but as soon as it ends, I'm gonna send it to the printer and just recoup the money when it comes in.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And that's, I mean, that's you. I mean, that's the way it should, if you can do it financially and everything else, that's great. But that's, you guys need to know that about Sam, because it's important that integrity's a big thing, you know,
Yeah.
and you have made mistakes. And that's one thing I like about you, because you share the path and you say, okay, well, I screwed up on this. Or, you can go back into your catalog, you can see,
Yeah.
you and George talk about it, and you got to make sure that you're human beings. That's awesome. You and I were gonna kind of razz George a bit because he's at work, but I think I'll let that go because what the hell. Go ahead. So how'd you and George meet? Tell me about that.
We met at the School of Visual Arts. We were both taking continuing education courses, and they were in a life drawing class.
Cool.
And I think it was, I don't know, I forgot how many weeks it was, but every class there was a male model, and we only had one female. So
Yeah.
I was like, I remember, I remember,
Right.
we had to draw the teacher would make the guy go stand he would put a chair on top of a table and get this guy. Yeah, George, here we go. Right? And he would make the guy stand up on a chair. I was like, come
Yeah.
on. I was like, now you got to have it. Right.
Yeah.
So the
Full
teacher didn't
Monty, right?
enjoy it. Right. So the teacher's like,
The
yeah.
guy's naked, right?
The
Oh my
teacher's like,
God.
"Wait, you didn't draw everything." I said, "There's not enough for him and it on my page, so I'm omitting that one." And, so, so I remember looking at George, and we started talking, and because after a while, because the whole class was all guys too,
Oh man, well, of
which is also
course, man. That's the
great.
way it was in my art school. We think we're all going to be, amongst these women that we're going to be drawn, right?
Yeah, it
Right.
was rough. So
Oh,
I
that's
looked,
funny.
we started talking, and he had this comic book of this hip hop duck. It was a booklet. He
Yeah.
had it, like, he
Yeah.
stapled it or whatever, and, then I told him what I was doing with Crazy Comics, and that's how we started, that's how we he worked on Rush 5377, I did Cosmic
Mhm.
Wars, and those are the first 2 issues we released together.
And what year was this?
Wow, that was,
20 years ago.
it
Must
was
have
a
been.
long time. I think we met I think it was '03 when
Mhm.
we met,
So,
and then
yeah.
'05, I thi it's '03, '04, 'cause it was '05, it was our debut, I believe, at the Big Apple Comic Con.
Yeah.
It's hard. It was around that, it was early 2000s, and I remember, I had a hookup with a friend of mine who was able to print the books in high gloss full color for us, under the table, and we paid cash, and we paid pennies
It's
nothing what you would pay a
it's New
printer.
York, baby. That's
Yes.
New York
Right,
underground
so
right there.
but the difference was he would give
Yeah.
it to us, a stack of just sheets, flat
Mm.
sheets stacked,
And
and we
then
would
you'd
have
have
to
to.
fold it and staple it
Yeah.
ourselves, and we
Yeah.
would put books in encyclopedia to hold it down and flatten it,
Yeah.
um, and then, we didn't have the money to do a convention, and, so a friend of mine knew Michael Carbonaro, who is the promoter of Big Apple Comic Con, so
Mhm.
we went there, it was at the New Yorker Hotel to introduce ourselves to him, and
Nice.
Michael is like Mick Jagger, with ADD to a that he will forget your name 20 times in 5 minutes. "What's your name again? Who are
Yeah.
you? Why are
Yeah.
you here?" I'm like, "I'm Sam. What do you want?" So, I was like, "Hey, how do I get a table?" He goes like, "Cost this much, go see that guy." I said, "No, no, 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 no. You don't understand." I said,
Yeah.
how do," he goes, "No." So I did a advertisement for the Big Apple.
Okay.
I pulled it out as a poster, and he looked at it, he's like, "That's my show." I said, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "Who did that?" I said, "I did that." "You did that?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Can you do it again?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You do it again, I'll give you a table." I said, "All right," and that's how we got
Alright.
into the Big
Done
Apple.
deal. Alright,
Yes.
cool.
So we started doing their marketing, helping them with marketing for, um, I think it was the 3 years that we did the show, and we were just featured guests.
A
Yeah,
great story, man.
yeah.
What was, how long did that last? How many years did you
3
do?
years.
Yeah.
We did the Big Apple because I think
Mm.
it ran 4 times a year. We did every show 4 times a year. Michael really took care of us. He was a good guy.
Good.
We even went to his, was it, um, en when he proposed, his engagement he did it. He
Ah,
proposed
very
to
good.
his, fiancée,
Yeah.
and, he did this big spot, and we all were there. He's a really good guy, took care of us, and, we did that Big Apple, we became, a staple there. We had a loyal following, at the Big Apple.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and George still talks to you. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's one thing about art school, man, that I thought for sure, because we had live drawing, interpreted whatever it was drawing. and we'd go in, man, young guys thinking, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be great." There's gonna be nude models here. It's gonna be
Oh,
awesome, right?
oh,
And we all go in. We've all got our pen. Everything's ready to go. And
yeah.
yep, it's an old dude from like 1960s. He's
Oh,
all like
they had these freaking Brad Pitt dudes. I'm like, "Yo, dude, really?" I was like, "Come on." I said, "My
how do you
wife can't come
compare
here."
with that, right?
Yeah, I
It's
was
like,
like,
come on,
"Yeah." I said, "Can't let my wife come to this place."
right, right. I'm like, come on.
I was like,
Well, that
"Really?"
one girl must have enjoyed it, that's for sure. But well, anyway,
Yeah, yeah. It was a
I'm with
breath
you.
of fresh air because we got to it was like, "All right, cool. I don't have to stare at," it's like, 'cause, you're looking straight ahead and you're trying to just look at the guy's eyes, but I don't
Right,
wanna make eye
right.
contact with his eyes. I'm like, I was like, "Oh, no, look at the pet." I was like, "You know
Did
what? I
the
don't wanna look at you anymore."
did you did you use charcoal? What did you guys use? Did you have
Oh,
all
it's
different
pencil.
mediums?
No, no, we
Yeah.
did we used whatever we, had, pencil and paper, and, it was cool. I took that course. That was the only course I was in with George. I also took a course, um, uh, it was perspective with Sal Amandella, and, that I love that
Yeah.
because he worked for the big boys,
Yeah.
and, he had all the original storyboards on the wall, and
Oh,
oh, it was
that's
beautiful,
awesome.
and it was
Yeah.
just it was easy. He was such an easy, teacher to talk to, great instructor,
No, those are
very
the best.
patient. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the best. Good. What did you take from school? Was it inspiration? Was it frustration? What was the when you left, when you were done?
Oh, it was inspiration.
Yeah.
I was on a mission. I wanted to create my own company, Crazy Comics.
Yep.
I want to create Crazy Comics was going to be a division within Crazy Media Group, which I currently own.
Hmm.
And so I was in music, so it was we had Crazy Skills Productions, which was our
Yep.
production house. And so I remember sitting down with this is way before I met George, with one of the producers and my road manager, and I was like, I was mapping it out. We had Crazy Comics, we had Crazy Skills Productions, we have a Crazy Media Group, all these things. It was under Craze, and that's how Cast the Craze came about.
Yeah.
And I just happened podcasting was becoming a thing, was just
Sure.
being introduced,
Yeah.
and I went to a pod camp. And it was at that time, it was really mostly, cooking shows that did podcasting. And, so I was like and then, Comic Geek Speak, and I seen these guys at the Comic-Con. I'm like, "Huh, I'm
I
gonna do
can
this."
I
So
can
I
do
called
that.
George up. I said, "Yo, George, we're podcasting." And so I went to Sam Ash. I didn't know what the I just looked it up. I said, "Look, I need a mixer, I need mics."
Yeah.
I need
Yep.
and then I had, the camcorders, big old,
Well, that's old school,
ABC.
man.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
yeah,
raw. That's
yeah. It
good.
was awesome.
Well, you're a pioneer, man. That was it. That's awesome. So I have a mad props for you. That's good. Good
Thanks.
stuff. What's been the most enjoyment out of all of it? All of the production, all of the comic books. What's been the most enjoyable?
The most enjoyable is just the conversations we have with everybody, meeting different people, different walks of life. I mean, a lot of different personalities.
Mhm.
No two people are the same, and I think that's the most enjoyable part of it. I didn't realize that I would like it as much. I was doing it as a means to promote the small guy,
Mhm.
and I mean, when I listened, I mean, I don't have, I have them in the archives. I don't have them in the World Wide Web anymore. I pulled them down, some of the earlier shows, because if anybody heard those shows, we'd be canceled. So I was like, that'd be a
Yeah.
thing on YouTube. He's been canceled. So yeah, so it was raw. There were no rules.
Yeah.
Not everybody wasn't hypersensitive.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
so I think over the years, it's just meeting a lot of different people.
That's cool. You've got the best laugh, I think, on the internet, bro. You need to get that meme down. You got to get that. You got to do that. George, get on that, man. Let's start making some money with that guy's laugh.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
laugh track, man. We could echo that thing out, repeat.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
I'll talk about it. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you
Thank you.
for coming in. Where can everybody reach you? Tell everybody where they can reach you.
Catch the Craze. It doesn't matter where you are on social media, the World Wide Web. If you just put in Catch the Craze with a DA, not a THE, Catch the Craze, you'll find me on all platforms. Or go to icreatestories.com or crazycomics.com, and you'll learn more about the books that I do and where you can get them. And then if you haven't done so already, sign up to Des Nailing in My Toilet. It goes live at noon, and the launch party is tonight at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. And I don't take this lightly. You're going to think it's corny, but Ted's tribe you're a part of now. So you and George, you were back when you guys had me on your show, but you're technically part of Ted's tribe now. So you guys check
Outstanding.
out everything that they're doing, because they are. It's a shame that George's only in the. I think George's got a really interesting voice too.
Yes.
So when you guys are watching them, really take it in. You can you can watch them, but you can also listen to them if you're working or whatever. So
Yes.
I definitely recommend it. It's always a pleasure having time with you guys. So thank you, man.
Thank you.
Anything else in closing? Anything else you want to promote or anything
No,
on it?
just where'd he go?
Yeah, I want to.
Oh,
Do you have the figure?
this little fellow
Let me
is
bring
waiting
him
for
up. Hold
you.
on.
This little
Go ahead.
fellow is waiting for you tonight. So go on and check it out. There's a lot of great things that are coming up on this campaign. Duty's traveled a long way. It cost him 280 uranium chips just to get here. So let's make it worth it because he has to go back. He has to go back. And so he needs to raise those uranium chips again to refuel his ship. So see Duty tonight. 12 p.m. The campaign goes live. I hope you're in the live chat tonight. It's going to be a party like nothing else. It's going to
Are
be out of
you
this
uh
world.
are you gonna market that bad boy?
Oh, yes. So yeah, this one is available for collectors.
Yeah.
It comes in its own prototype box. This
Nice.
is a prototype. There's only 7 of its kind. And I'm putting one up on the campaign. It's not a toy, it's a collector, it's a latex
Right.
product. But
Right.
there's some other things that's available also on the campaign that you'll see when it goes live.
That's the way to do it. All right. Well, stick around. I'm gonna end the broadcast. But thank you so much again, Sam. You're the man. Sam the
Thank you.
man. We'll see you soon, man. We'll see you on Catch the Craze.
You got it.
And good luck and much success with the campaign.
Thank you.
Thanks. So now you guys heard it. Now you guys know, at least you know half of the side of it. I want you guys to meet George too coming up here. We'll have them back again when we can all schedule it out. Hopefully after the dust settles and this thing is uh, flying high on Kickstarter. So check out everything that they're doing. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. Like and share this out. It would help them a lot. And join what they're doing on Kickstarter with with this campaign. I can't say enough about it. Please do. And watch the pre-launch. It's only an hour away is when this thing launched. I think it might be 2 hours. I think it's Eastern Standard though. But check it out anyway and be part of this. Be part of this. I think I'm laughing thinking about the title again. I'm going to bring this up one more time. So you guys just be part of this campaign. It won't cost very much, and it'll mean the world to my guys. There you go. I was waiting for that. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys have a great day. Do something good for somebody. Maybe get on the Kickstarter, invest in this great campaign. Do something good for somebody, and be safe. We'll talk to you soon.